Hello, welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi show with Peter Yu. Today we're going to talk about drop Seoi Nage.
That's
It's gonna be
right.
amazing. Yeah, drop Seoi Nage. You know, commonly if you spam this move, you're called a drop flopper, right? Drop and flopper.
I used to
You
be
got
one.
drop and flop judo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst
Yeah.
thing you could do. You know, and there's things I have very strong feelings about this style of judo.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, let's talk about it. Like why do people tend to like it? I guess if you're a Seoi Nage guy, I guess a lot of people tend to gravitate towards drop
Yeah.
techniques rather than standing. Why is that? Or how do you do it more effectively? We'll cover all that.
We're going to cover all that. We're going to
Yeah.
cover all that. But first and foremost, I want to plug the most concise and effective judo instruction ever made. Okay?
Not an exaggeration.
And it's on not an exaggeration, right? And my whole pitch is this: give me 15 minutes, and I'll give you 95% of what you need to know about drop Seoi Nage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And then where can we find this?
for the price of 2 Starbucks coffees. All right, you can go to shintarohigashi.com, click on courses, and you can learn about drop Morote Seoi Nage.
That's right.
That's the whole point of this episode. Is a whole sales pitch. That's it. No,
Bye,
we're really
guys.
gonna talk about
No.
drops. That's it, done, guys. It's a commercial.
Well, yeah. So if you're a visual learner,
Yep.
this episode is gonna be like a supplementary material for the course he posted
Yes.
on the website shintarohigashi.com. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it so that
Yep.
if you're a visual learner, you can also supplement this with the video.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right. So the
so
difference
take it
between
away.
this
Yeah.
standing judo classic, like Ochi Osoto, turn throw, tatoshi, you're standing on 2 feet, right? That kind of
Yeah.
judo versus like a dropping judo, right?
Mhm.
Is that when you're going for Ochi Osoto, things like this, you go in and out of stuff real quick because you're on your feet. You're very agile. Okay.
Yeah.
The moment you drop,
Right.
it's hard to change directions and go for other things. And people are gonna say, "Oh, you could go ippon say now you can go drop kochi." Yeah, but that's the extent of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're standing, like even we just saw a match on the international circuit for Tokyo Grand Slam. Guy fakes pumps ippon say nagi, drops say nagi. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
What comes after that? You could run your feet really good, right? So
Right.
like a fast running, finishing sort of a method also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of the difference. You know what I mean?
Right.
You commit to the drop, you're on the ground, and if you really, really want to finish it, you could
You have to run
run it and
Yeah,
finish it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But if you don't really want to run it and finish it, and if your whole goal is to transition to the ground, then you could do this. Of course, you give up your back, right?
Yeah.
How good is your Nuwaza defense? But
Yeah.
based on different objectives of like, I want to burn the clock if I'm competing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those things kind of matter. You know what I mean?
So you're saying it drop Seoi Nage could be an option if you want to burn the clock?
Oh,
I feel like
absolutely. Yeah. Let's just say
Oh.
there's 30 seconds left in the match, you're up by a
Yeah.
score.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is specifically to sport judo. I'm not talking like
Yeah.
martial judo. What about the
Right.
self-defense application? I'm not talking about any of that. Okay, so
Yeah.
don't get on the keyboard yet, just yet. I know some people love like, oh, you can't
Don't
do
ask
this in the
Shintaro
street.
yet.
Yeah, the street, the mythical streets, right? We
Street, yeah, I
talked about
know.
that. Yeah. So this is the thing. You're down, you're up by a score. You have 30 seconds left on the match. You drop Seoi Nage, transition to the ground. So now
Mhm.
the likelihood of you getting bombed by like Osotogari, Uchimata is very low now.
Right.
And now with the new rules, yes, you could pick the person up off the floor, but you're so much closer to the mat.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to base out. Okay. So then all of a sudden, the person goes on top and he wants to attack Newaza, but he's thinking, oh, shoot, the time is running out. So I probably shouldn't engage in Newaza. But you could turn around and pull guard.
Yeah.
You could engage him, drag him down to the floor. Now you're both entangled on the ground. Okay.
I
The person
see.
desperate needs a score.
Yeah.
And you can't really score until you like pass and pin on the ground or choke an armbar.
Right.
And then you have an effective guard play, right, with your legs in between your opponent or inside the legs, right? It's not going to be something that you could do very, very quickly as time's counting down,
Right.
Now you spend the first 10 seconds getting to the ground, and now all of a sudden you're rolling into a leg or something like that, and you're scrambling around, 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're burning the clock, and if there's forward progression, time's going to keep going.
Yeah.
It's a great way to utilize, and work the
Right.
clock, right? It's also a great way to get out of bad positions if you're on your feet. If you're about to get bombed, okay,
Yeah.
you can just turn and drop real quick, and then
Reset.
right, you've got
Yeah.
reset. You've gotten out of that position for a second, and of
Yeah.
course, if you keep spamming it, you're gonna get penalized in competitive judo.
Right. So
And I can't stress this enough. This is not a self-defense situation. Okay, even though drop Seoi Nage can work in a self-defense situation, right?
Mhm.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about specific to sport judo.
Yeah. So what are some other pros of drop Seoi Like what do like I when I first learned Seoi I found myself
Yeah,
doing it more of the drop style. It's just I found it
yeah.
easier. We'll cover why why you don't like this type of style of
I didn't
judo
say I didn't
later.
like it. I
Oh,
said I have strong feelings about dropping floppers. If you're
drop
just
and
a drop and
floppers.
flop guy without
Uh,
any of the nuance,
right,
then I'm not a big fan of it, right? But if
right.
you're doing it with purpose and intent, like you look at the Korean team, right?
You
They
know
all they're masterful at this.
yeah they are
Yeah.
drop Seoi is like the thing. Some players only do that in any
They
position.
got in
Yeah.
Korea, they got, like Blackpink and Lisa,
Yeah.
K-pop stars, but then in judo you got the K-drop stars. They
Yeah,
just drop
exactly. Yeah, drop.
repeatedly. You like that one? I just came up with that one.
That was pretty good. But yeah, it is
K-drop.
true. Like there was a 90-kilo player or Lee Igi-won, and he
Yeah.
even among the Korean professional players, he was
Yeah.
known to be like he doesn't care. He will just drop any
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean, when you're
yeah.
dropping down, you let gravity take over, right? So
Yeah.
gravity does a lot of the work for you,
Yeah.
you know? And if you could time it right, you have two hands working towards it, whatever it is, and then you drop it underneath the person, and if you can run your legs properly,
Mhm.
proper execution of the throw, the finish of the throw, right?
Right.
And then you adjust. There's adjustments that need to be made, right? Cutting that angle this way, cutting that angle that way, running your feet,
Yeah.
right? As the person tries to adjust. And you can adjust the
Right.
turn of the throw, right? Like how the degree of turn, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes you just drop 180 degrees and the person tries to step off on the backside. In that
Right.
case, you can anticipate that and do a shallow turn,
Yeah.
right? So then he loads up on your back, and then once he's there, you could run it
To run
forward and
it.
try to run your
Yeah.
feet, and then you could do like sort of a sprint off the block,
That
right? So it's a very powerful throw if done properly,
uh
and the only way to really stop that is like really sort of step forward
sinking
and
the
sinking the heel down and putting the
yeah.
brakes on.
Yeah.
Right. And if you do that, you open to kochi, ochi, backwards techniques.
Right.
So it's a very effective style if you know how to do it. But in order to get there, you're just constantly dropping because you need to do the technique
A
to
lot
learn.
of yeah.
People like that because it takes the risk of getting bombed with Losoto or something high,
Mm.
right?
Right, right.
It's
And you
lower
can
risk
kind of
for a lot
manage
of
it. Yeah.
people. Which one would you rather happen to you? Try to learn Osotogari, go in for Osoto, and someone just bomb you straight back onto your head and feel the risk for
Right.
years. Or you could just drop, and the worst thing that can happen is, oh, the guy strangled me.
Yeah, or
Oh, it's tap in
take them
practice.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
it's not
no.
as impactful. I think that's one of the reasons why I like
Mm,
prefer that probably in the earlier days of my judo. But
yeah.
also that point about running it through. So, I learned my Seoi in Korea first, and
Yeah.
they really emphasize that. So they'll teach you to squat all the way down
Yeah.
and then stand up basically
Yeah.
in between the legs. So it
Yeah.
is easier than like standing and then try to like, the koga style where you like lift the
Yeah.
person off the ground.
Yes.
So that's it's easier to learn as a beginner, I think, if you have the leg mobility, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. And then, some people have painful knees,
Yeah.
slamming out on the knee, all this stuff is difficult, right?
Right,
And
right.
it's such a hard throw to understand. If the person's not, just cooperating, it's easy to do. There's
Yeah.
lots of different concepts that you can implement right away if you know what it
Mhm.
looks like to make it an effective throw for you.
Right.
And that's really what I talk about, right? In the
Mhm.
video.
In the video. Okay.
Yeah, ShintaroHigashi.com. Literally, I was like, all right, how can I distill all the Seoi Nage? I could have done volumes and volumes on this
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Different types of Morote Seoi Nage, how to enter, this is the timing. You can do
Yeah.
Ochi drop, Kochi drop. What are the differences? Sasai drop Seoi Nage, right? High
Mhm.
Seoi Nage, low Seoi Nage, fake Seoi Nage, into Seoi Nage, Korean Seoi Nage, reverse Seoi Nage, right? But it's like, what is anyone going to get out of that? And I
Yeah.
really think the issue now, when you enter the information age, everyone's dying for information. Now there's too much
Yeah.
noise, right? It's like, how can I distill down only the most important parts, and then you could take that information and fill in the rest and make it
Right.
your drop Seoi. So that's what this is. Literally like under 15 minutes, this video.
Yeah.
It's $10, okay? The idea is you watch it once, you watch it twice, you can get it downloaded to your phone or whatever it is. Right?
Yeah.
You have it on your phone, you watch it.
Right.
Maybe
That's
give it
right.
2 or 3 watches and then pick up different things along the way. You're going to the dojo and you can immediately apply it.
I
That's the
think that
appeal of this.
that's a good point about learning a technique in judo because everyone has a different Seoi Nage because everyone's
Yeah,
body is different, the strength is different, what have you. And the
yeah,
biggest thing is to understand the fundamental mechanics, and then the rest is just details. You have to
yeah.
do the
Details,
reps, and then
implementation.
yeah,
Yeah. The old
um,
thing of like, here's one combination. Kochi to drop senagi. Here's Ouchi to drop senagi.
yeah,
Go try these things. It doesn't really work because it doesn't take into account what the other person is doing and the concepts behind it that's driving it to make
right,
these techniques work.
yeah,
Right?
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Um, so that's the context of the video, and then that you guys can watch it for more details about the
Yeah.
technique. And to complement that, I was wondering like, so say you're a beginner, and would you recommend learning drop seoinage? Like, do you usually recommend that, or like how does one develop this and then integrate the technique into their game?
Yeah. That's a very good question.
Yeah,
Body type, right? If you have
yeah,
knees that don't bend all the way, it's going to be a little
yeah,
bit tough, right?
right,
If you're in a dojo where they prohibit you from doing drop senagi, it's going to
right.
be tough to do, right? Those are real issues, you know? I
Mhm,
don't let white belts do the drop
mhm.
senagis because when they take it from another white belt, their head going to go first into the floor and they're going to get hurt.
Right.
So it's literally no drops for green and below.
Mm.
Greens
Okay.
can do it. Greens can do the thing. So they no
Yeah.
drops on the green belt. You can't do drops, right? If someone does it, that person's getting, told like, hey man, you can't do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pretty strict with this kind of stuff. So when white belts start spamming drop senagi, it becomes sort of a crutch. And like I told you, like it takes you out of bad positions, right? If you're on your
Yeah.
feet. And
Yeah.
then if you're playing the rule set of judo in sport, you don't really get punished for it.
Mm-mm.
Even jujitsu, you don't get that punished. Like you get choked in practice, fine, big deal. You give it
Yeah.
back, you get to work on your back attack
Back
defense,
escape. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not in like in a street fight or something. If you turn drop senagi, you miss it, you could eat some big shots to the head, right?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. So so you think starting in if you wanna specialize in it, like you think it's okay to start a little later, like in green belts?
Can you
Oh,
know? It depends on your body type. It depends on what you
yeah.
want to do. It's a way to learn, and like all things, this stuff doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? So
Right.
like if you're an over the back power hand, power grip kind of a person, right? Then
Yeah.
drop senagi is gonna be very difficult to implement
Yeah.
because he's grabbing low on the collar. He's gonna do
Mm.
senagi
Yeah.
kochi ochi. Oh, he goes over the back. Now he's just gonna go harai taio uchimata,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So you want to sort of like bring those two things closer. If you go like right by the collarbone, your right hand on
Mm.
the collarbone, and you can play that game very well, then you could
Mm.
do fake
Oh,
taio,
yeah.
drop senagi, move in, inch it up, go uchimata harai soto, and then you can kind of toggle back and forth between the two systems, like seamlessly, right, to where
Mm.
they can't see it.
Yeah.
So those things kind of matter. You know what I mean? Like if you're 6'5" and you fight in I don't know 90 kilos or something, then will this drop senagi game be very very good for you? Probably not. You know,
Mm.
but it doesn't mean that you can't. Then most people won't expect it. So it's very
Right.
nuanced. It's always like a nuanced answer when it comes to this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Do I think that a white belt should buy this video? 100%.
Mhm.
And this is my new thing. Like I'm trying to make it sort of a series, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
the most concise, distilled down, watch this and then take your judo off. Because I truly believe a lot of the instructions out there, don't shade at all the other people who are making instructionals.
Yeah.
And my series too. It's like sometimes a lot of this fluff, man.
It is, yeah.
Because people want that like volumes. Volumes. It's like the chapter one is this, chapter two is that. They want like, oh, I'm paying for it. I want 4 hours of, you know, this study, like deep positional study. And who has the
Right.
time or the ability to watch that? And who can sift through it and then actually have the lens to say, like, this is actually what's important? There's no
Uh,
like marker on the side note of like, this is 90% of it, or this is 10% of it, or th- there's
yeah.
no real, right? So here it is, man. Like, this is all you need to know from start to finish. right? And it's rarely ever just the actual technique. It's
Yeah.
everything surrounding it, right? And if
Right.
you take a conceptual approach, you can sort of apply it and make it your own, right? Here's the framework. What drives the drop senagi?
You're teaching people how to fish instead of giving the fish.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'll give you one concept that I talk about, right?
Yeah.
So in the mechanics of the throw, there's the turning, right? And
Yeah.
then the dropping, the level change.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two ideas. How do you do that? And what are the things that you may encounter to resist that? Dropping
Mm.
is usually easier, right? Because you
Right.
just freaking
Right.
drop, and to
Yeah.
prevent the person from dropping, right? Not
You know,
as
yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit easier. The
Right.
turn, right? Like where does it come from? Stiff arming, person's controlling the sleeve. Like how do you deal
Yeah.
with those things?
Mm.
So I'll give you some ideas on how to deal with these things, and then you can troubleshoot your own senagi, right?
Mm.
And then right here's some ideas.
That's right.
Here's
So
some
yeah,
examples. Yeah,
I so that it is a lot of a lot of nuance into this throw, and I guess I could share a little bit about how I like I I'm kind of going back to when you said this drop Seoi could be a crutch. I
yeah,
really
yeah,
I really identify with that because uh I was a spammer, like you said. I remember when I
mm,
first walked in,
yeah,
it was very effective. I could get out of a lot of positions, and
yeah,
I was really good at drop seonages because I could change my level quickly and then
yeah,
drive. Um, but then because uh because I was so reliant on that, my judo was very limited. So if
uh,
I don't get into the perfect position to do a seoinage, I was basically shut down. So
yeah,
then it was my when my knees started getting banged up a little more, like bruised, I started stopping
yeah,
myself from going for a drop seoinage and then
yeah,
incorporating other throws, and then that
yeah,
actually worked a lot better,
yes,
and
sure,
so, things like that, you gotta, like, really think about that. I mean, it's not there's no, like, one best path. Like,
mm,
no one can take a smooth path towards, like, being good at judo, you have to
yeah,
experiment, and you have to identify problems,
yeah.
and that's why
Stay healthy.
learning
Yeah.
these principles, is important. Yeah.
All right, so I'll give you a question about your judo.
Yeah.
So your drop senagi became a crutch for you.
Yeah.
In what way? Like, why was it? Why did it give you comfort?
Oh, because,
I've already mentioned it, but there's another reason. Right.
for
Let's
my
mention.
case, ooh,
Yeah.
maybe this is like a meta question. Maybe I don't even
Yeah.
know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you notice more things about my judo than I do. There's one good reason was that I could really just be lazy and go for it instead of trying to get into a good position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting out of bad positions. Right.
yeah. And there's another reason.
There's kind of another reason that's like indirectly linked. It's
Let's
another
see.
safety thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. It has
I can't
something to
think
do
of
with
it.
the space on the mat.
Oh, maybe I tend to like go out of bounds. Is that what?
Yes. Yeah. So you can play
Yeah,
the edges of the mat, right?
yeah,
And then you could
yeah.
justify it because you're
Right.
playing the edges of the mat and you're very close to the out of bounds, right? Where your
Yeah,
back is towards the out of bounds.
yeah.
And then if you feel like you're in trouble, you could step out of bounds.
Right.
Okay. But if the person's like, oh, this guy's close to the, out of bounds, let me just shove him out of bounds, right? You get that cue to drop and turn because they're pushing into you,
You know what?
right?
That's very interesting because
Yeah.
in competition, I've thrown a lot of people
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
edge because of that. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Of course. And it's a thing
Yeah.
that works, but you become too reliant on it. And then it's this mental thing of like, oh, if I'm in trouble, I'll just step out of bounds, right? And if he
Mhm.
pushes me out of bounds, it gives me the
I'll just drop.
Senagi.
Yeah.
So it's like a good win-win for you, kind of, right? But then if you're too
Yeah.
reliant on this, guy who knows it can, you know,
Shido me out of the match.
yeah,
Yeah.
penalize you out of the match because they know how to actually like coach you, push you, shove, and like
Right.
going for an actual throw on the out of bounds mat and then force penalties properly. They know how to do
Mm.
this, right? They could time this, right?
Yeah.
So, but in practice, no one's calling
Doesn't
these
matter. Yeah.
penalties. And,
Yeah.
it's kind of like unfavored to call penalties, right? Oh, you can't do that. You can do this. You can do that. Like, you don't want to be that guy. Stop being
Yeah.
that guy, okay? Everyone who's listening, guy or girl, don't be that person that's like, you know,
Oh, that's a pistol grip. You can't do that.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Come on. Oh, wait, hold on, hold on. I'm about to get bombed, but let me tell you about the new rule changes that I was watching Neil Adams' video. Don't be that person, right? Anyway, but yeah, so there's two reasons why it could be a crutch, and those two are enough to sort of really pigeonhole you into that, right?
Right.
Safety comfort zone of never actually having to learn, you know, other stuff and never getting bombed and looking pretty good in the gym,
Yeah.
you know? So interesting, right? If you think of it that way.
Dude, I didn't even notice. But
No.
I'll tell you guys this, Shintaro, when I was really bad about this mat management,
Yeah.
always going out of bounds, he would
Yeah.
yell at me.
Yeah.
Remember? He was like,
Oh,
"Stay
yeah.
in the middle, stay in the middle."
Yeah, that's the easiest, right? But it's not, it's like I always say, it's a little bit more nuanced than just go circle in,
Yeah.
and those are the cues, but then you have to explain why,
Yeah.
and how to do it and all this stuff. You're playing the edges and the guy's trying to you're controlling space,
Right,
right?
right.
It's like if I have all of the mat behind me and you have no mat behind you and you're sort of on the edge, right? I'm winning that battle
Yeah. Yeah.
of controlling, this is mine. I'm taking that land from you.
Right, right.
It's like the real estate is mine. I'm shoving you off the grounds, right? So
Mm.
that's not a good thing usually,
Yeah. Maybe they
right?
could make another video of that too. Space
Yeah,
management. Yeah.
right. And then circling in. How do right? Person's shoving you out. He's controlling all this mat space. You fake and you do a sasai. Now you've
Yeah.
rotated. It's like sweeping, right, from the
Right.
ground. Right? You interchange
Yeah.
position. Fake turn throw resistance aside. You're not trying to throw the person. You're just trying to
Right.
change positions. Now you're the one controlling it. It's like the reverse
Yeah.
card in Uno. You pull the reverse card.
That's right.
That's what you should do. Like whenever someone's shoving me out of bounds, I just aside and I
Like a
pull out the reverse card.
Uno card, reverse Uno.
I'll just throw it up. How funny would that be?
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, that's some big things about the drop Seoi, and I love that.
Yeah.
When done masterfully, I've seen, you guys heard of Uchishiba?
Yeah.
He was an Olympic gold medalist. He actually got it taken away from him for
Yeah. He has some
Me Too. He got Me
accusations.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
accusation. He went to prison in Japan.
Yeah.
But he had the most spectacular drop Seoi game I've ever seen, man. I will never forget. I was at Kukushkan University. I was in high school.
Uh,
I was training. I went to see him. Not him, the practice, and I was training there. And I got to see this guy
yeah.
work
Wow.
people. I'm talking standing Seoi, Morote Seoi, Kochi, every now and then Tomonage, but he would light guys up. I'm talking in a 5-minute period, he'll be able to throw anybody, any exchange,
With Seoi Nage.
whatever he wanted, literally.
Uh,
And majority of the time, it was like a drop Seoi,
uh,
and he's trying to create this negative space underneath them, right? Because he's trying to shift their
Yeah.
center of gravity away from the base, and he would just drop in that pocket and explode like a bomb.
Mm.
It was like you take a grenade and throw it underneath some. It was
And then
unbelievable. It was
Yeah.
whoa. So I've seen it in the highest levels. You know what I mean? And it's a great system, but the people who kind of just drop and hope,
Yeah.
you're kind of playing that thing I like to call hope judo. You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah. More purposeful. Yeah.
Yeah. And seriously, guys, check out shintarohigashi.com. Right.
Yeah.
And if you get
courses.
nothing,
Yeah.
there's on the landing page of the front page, you could kind of give your email, and then we'll give you a free how to make your judo better immediately video. So you could just get that. It's free,
Mhm.
Yeah, give me your email address and I will send you video
That's
emails
like-
about but I'm trying
We don't-
something new.
Yeah. He
And maybe
doesn't
you
spam
like
you. He won't spam you guys.
I won't spam you, I won't.
Yeah.
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 I won't sell your email either.
Cool. Yeah, check out the video, guys, if you're interested. And hopefully this podcast episode will complement the video better, kind of gives you the context and why. And
Yeah.
then the technical details will be in the video.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else about drop Seoi Nage?
I mean, there's a lot more, but I could speak forever about this. But I
Yeah.
don't want to bore you guys to death, so you got to watch the 15 minutes distilled down to
all
learn,
the good stuff. Yeah.
to learn 99% of all you need to know. Increase to 99.
Oh, yeah. You just added
Yeah.
4 more percent. Yeah.
Yep.
95%, he says on the website. But you could get
Yes.
99% there too.
Who
Cool.
knows? Yeah.
All right. Well, hope you guys found this episode helpful, and
Yep.
we'll see you guys in the next episode.